Hello my friends, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how it is to fly in one of the cheap airlines in Europe. That airline is called Ryanair, and we're going to be seeing how the planes are, how the food is, and of course how much it costs to fly in this airline. So let's go. I am not a citizen from the European Union, therefore I have to go to the front desk. They have to check something, so that's why they told me that I had to be there earlier. I thought that there was going to be such a long queue like the one that you will see in my back right now, but that's from Wizz Air, and the one from Ryanair, it's not that long, so very nice. I thought that I was gonna be waiting for, I don't know, 20-30 minutes, but luckily it doesn't seem like it's gonna be like that. As usually everything is overpriced at the airports. We had to pay for a bottle of water 13 zlotys. That's the equivalent of €3, something like that. So I think that's a bit pricey, but I mean, what can you do? And as you can see, here are some really nice and funny ways of packing the vodka. According to this is born in Poland, so it's everything from Poland. But to be honest, I haven't seen this anywhere else but here. As you can see, it's the extinguisher and it's also vodka. So I don't know, there are different funny ways. Gold vodka, I don't know. This vodka is called Żurek, and Żurek is actually my favorite Polish soup, but not this one exactly. So really, I haven't seen these bottles before anywhere else. These Wawel are traditional from Krakow, but here they cost 10 zlotys, and usually they can cost 3 zlotys outside. And we're going to see in Ryanair what's the menu like, how are the prices and everything, because the price of the ticket doesn't include any snack or anything. Okay, now I want to tell you a bit about the experience so far. First of all, I cannot tell you exactly how much we paid for it because we bought a ticket to Istanbul using the website kiwi.com. But if you check Ryanair's website, you can see that if you look for the same flight on a Saturday at the same time, it's going to cost 136 zlotys, which is the equivalent of €30. So yes, I can tell you that these flights are cheap. I think that paying this amount of money for a flight that lasts 2 hours from Poland to London, it's a really good price. I mean, if you think about that in Latin America, in Guatemala, you will not find that price for El Salvador, which is a flight that lasts less than 1 hour. So the prices are really good. They are cheap and really affordable. Let me know what you think, if this is a good or is not a good price. I mean, in Guatemala you can pay even more for a bus ticket. So yes, it's cheaper to fly in Europe. But you have to take into consideration, for example, I'm not a citizen from the European Union, then I had to go to the front desk to check if I needed a visa. Sometimes the queue can be very long, but surprisingly there were like 5 people in front of us in the queue, so that was nice. But the moment when we went to the desk, the queue was maybe 30-35 people, so it's good. I think that we went exactly in the moment where we had to be, because otherwise we would have been waiting there for such a long time. So that's something to take into consideration. Second thing, you have to know that usually these airlines are going to charge you for everything you want to do. For example, I had to print this, but if you don't print it or you don't have it online, you have to pay for that. So that is raising the price. We also don't have hand luggage. We have a piece of, we can take a bag that is not exceeding 55 centimeters, and it cannot be heavier than 8 kilograms. So that's something else to take into consideration, because if you add luggage, you're going to pay more money. Also, we are not going to be sitting in the same places. Ola is going to be sitting in the 33C, and I'm going to be sitting in the 8D or something like that. So as you see, if you want to be able to sit next to the person you're traveling with, you're gonna have to pay extra money as well. I just want to say that the boarding has already started, but a lot of people stand up and they're still waiting a long time standing up, so that's why we decided to wait a moment before going and boarding. When you're boarding, do you like standing right away, or do you wait like us a moment until people have already gone? It's funny because we thought that there was such a long queue, and then we heard that it was the last call for the flight, and I thought that we were just like chilling, sitting there, because the queue was very long, but apparently it was for the next flight. And then they were calling us, well, not us exactly, but it was the last call for this flight. Sometimes you go walking, but sometimes you go by bus. I think today we're going to go by bus because people are waiting right there. All right, so we're right now already in the bus, which is going to take us to the airplane. As you can see, there's a lot of people, but it's gonna be like a 2-minute ride anyway, so it's all right. The plane is right there. There is a lot of noise because of the turbines. It is cloudy, rainy. I thought it was gonna be better because it's spring. The reason why we're boarding this way is because it's cheaper to pay for the bus and use the stairs than paying for the platform. They think about everything in order to be able to save some money. Okay, this is the leg room that you have. I mean, it's a bit tight, but you have to consider that I'm carrying my backpack under the seat. I still have some space. You can see also right here the information card in front of you. Oh, that's also the menu I'm going to show you in a moment. We're probably gonna order something. And this is the table. You can put the food there, probably your laptop, and yes, it's small, but you have it. If you want to buy food, you must go to the app, open the in-flight magazine, and you can find everything you can buy here. One of the most interesting things for me is that you can buy perfumes, fragrances for men, for women. I mean, I have never seen something like this on other airlines. You can buy cosmetics, you can buy gifts, a watch if you need, you can buy earpods, you can buy a power bank, you can buy a toy for kids, but of course the most important things, the food. You can find, as you can see here, the prices of the sandwiches, croissants. You have different options, even a vegan option, vegetarian. The chocolates, as you can see here, the prices are a bit higher than what you would pay at the supermarket, but you have to consider that this is the way in which they make money. On other airlines, they offer a drink, sometimes a croissant or a sandwich, but they don't, because they must make money out of this. I mean, I'm not complaining because they offer cheap prices. I'm going to get this option that for 10 euros you can get one drink, one snack, and a sandwich. You're going to save 1.5 euros if you select this option. And I'm going to buy it because I want to show you how it is to eat here on the plane. And as I was saying, this is what you get: 40 grams Pringles, a 330 milliliter Coke, and one chicken panini, which it's warm at least. It took them about 10-15 minutes to get it. Maybe it's frozen and that's the reason why it takes so long, but yeah, around 10 to 15 minutes. And yeah, I guess you could buy something cheaper outside in McDonald's or in Subway, but I mean, this is what you get when you are flying on Ryanair. And for the first time in London, and surprisingly the weather is much better here than in Poland. And I always had the idea that here it's kind of like rainy or cold, but no, it's better than in Poland actually. And it's time for us to go for the self-transfer because we have to get out of the airport and come back in again. Guys, and I want to tell you a bit of how the experience was. Unfortunately, I was sitting in the middle seat, so it was even uncomfortable for a moment when I wanted to go to the toilet. The guy who was sitting next to me was sleeping and I couldn't wake him up. I was trying to gently move him, but he was sleeping deeply. As you can see on the screen, the leg space, I think it was okay. The fact that my back was a bit big maybe makes it a bit uncomfortable for me, because if I had taken a smaller bag or if I had paid for the carry-on luggage, probably I would have been able to save it on the compartments on the top. I wanted to show you how the food is in the airplanes. Maybe it's not the biggest thing, and I think that the sandwich was a bit cold in my opinion. It took them 15 minutes to bring me the sandwich. Probably it was frozen because it was a bit cold in the middle still. Even though it was cold, the sandwich was okay. If you go to Subway, you're going to pay around the same price. Probably the sub is going to be a bit tastier. But I mean, you're in the airplane, and if there is no other option and if you're really hungry, I mean, you could buy it. I mean, this is another way in which they can earn money. They don't offer absolutely anything. And that's because if you want something, you have to pay for it. I mean, that's the way that they work, you know. It's a cheap airline, and then you're gonna have to pay for every single other thing other than just your seat and being transported from one place to another with a small bag. If your purpose is to save money, I think it's a really great option. And I mean, try to eat something before, so you're not going to be hungry during the flight. The airplane took off 10 minutes later than what it was supposed to, and I mean, we arrived on time. There wasn't a delay. I know that in different circumstances it can be. It hasn't happened to us before, and today it didn't happen either. So I think it's a great airline, especially if, as I said earlier, you are planning to save money. If you're traveling on a budget, yes, these airlines are going to be a no-brainer. Sometimes they're really crazy cheap prices, because you can find even for 150 zlotys a round ticket somewhere. But the problem is that the dates are already selected, so you cannot play with the dates and you have to be able to go on those days. And the problem is that sometimes, in some occasions, you need to stay in these places for 6 days, for 8 days, but it is possible that you're going to spend a lot of money in the destination. But eventually you can find a weekend ticket for a really good offer. Please let me know in the comments if you've ever had the chance to fly in this airline, and if you have, let me know your experience down below. And I also want to thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe, and I'll see you on the next adventure. And greetings from someone who flew on one of the cheapest airlines in Europe. Until the next time.